Hey everyone, it's Jay from Lords of War with a new little segment here. We're gonna call the Army Diary. So this is my Cities of Sigmar Army project for this season, I guess. So I kind of mentioned in some previous videos that Chris and I are going to be at Adepticon this March, and we're working on various projects. And the project I'm going to try and finish is a Cities of Sigmar Army. So these new models came out initially launched in September with like a kind of like a spearhead box, which kind of came with like a few units, including these. These were like some of the knights and the Free Guild Cavaliers and the Free Guild Steel Helms, and then the rest of the army came out in November. So to be honest, not a ton of time to like really finish like an army at a pace that you want. I kind of have to rush, but anyway, I'm trying my darndest. This is what I've finished so far, and I'm going to then go and kind of show you kind of what I'm working on. So the first thing I finished was a unit of the knights. So they were actually super fun to build and paint. They're like just an awesome model kit. I can't say enough good things about it. It's the first time I've seen them do the thing where they actually cut the model in half, like horizontally, so the legs of the horses are like a separate thing, and then the barding in the top of the guy is interchangeable. So in theory, if I painted the horses all the same and I didn't glue the halves together, like I could swap top halves with bottom halves, if that makes sense. Anyway, all this to say, it makes painting the horses much easier, because you can just work on the legs or airbrush the bottom of the horse, and then work on the top of the guy and then put it together later. So I don't know, kind of neat. You can see with the basing, and you'll see it with the steel helms, I've gone with a Green Stuff World roller and milliput. So I'm using the set pavement roller to make a kind of cobblestoney thing, because I don't know, figured Cities of Sigmar, so there's gonna be some cities, something to resemble a road or town or square or whatever. My color scheme's a little bit different than I'm kind of inspired by the book, but changed it a little. So I'm going to be doing some different color schemes across my units, but at least these two are this like purple and yellow scheme. And I like the Vindicarum icon with the gear. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to play the Vindicarum city, although it's got pretty good rules. I'm still playtesting and deciding how that's going to look. You can see my endless spells in the backdrop and random Stormcast Dragon. So that's where we're at. So I've got these swordsmen done. The color scheme's not bad. Most of my time is spent or lost painting the metallics. So that's kind of the showcase of I guess what I'm doing. All of these metals on these guys. So there's a lot of silver and bronze, and I'll show you in a second kind of the colors I'm using to do that. Very time consuming though. It's just like, yeah, it's a lot of shading and blending, and getting it kind of just right. It's not bad. It's not like too like, it's not killing me necessarily, but it is work. So anyway, that's my bottleneck. So these two are included in my list, and then I'll show you kind of the rest. And I'll just kind of step away. I'll just walk over there, get a shot of the store if you haven't already. My paint table, something which I love we have here. All right, here it is. Here is where the magic happens. So the current project is I have 20 Fusiliers in my list, and there's my Alchemite Warforger, who's like a must-have in the army. He's almost done. I'm going to get him done today. But really, it's these 20 Fusiliers, and why they're a pain as well. It's like painting two guys. 20 guys is really like 40 guys, because you got to paint these shields, these tower shields. I've got some guys separated. I kind of did. I thought I was being clever, because I kind of used a little bit of super glue to kind of like tack the guy to the base, and where I should have not put any glue is like here where the gun sticks out. There's a little spot where, like, I don't know what you call it, not a hinge, but it's like it's got a little spot where the gun kind of slots in, and I should have just left that freely. The reason I needed them to be somewhat assembled is I've been playing games with them, and I don't want to just field shields. Although now in retrospect, you can see some of them I popped off, so that was good. Some of them I couldn't. Yeah, so right now I'm just in the middle of like lots of base coating and getting these ready. I need to finish these this month. You can see I do the bases kind of a bit later, so they get rolled. Guys get popped off and stuff gets rolled and done kind of after the fact. So anyway, that's that. And then so I have, let's see, so it's December 9th right now, so I've got 22 days or whatever to finish these, which in theory sounds doable. And then before March, this is the rest of the pile for now. Assuming my list doesn't change anymore, I also need to find time to do a display board. So anyway, my list is so far still including Ionis Cryptborn. He's a great, awesome model. I'm actually looking forward to doing this. I'll probably save this for the end, because believe it or not, a monster kit like this, I feel like I can actually finish rather quickly, like maybe in a week or two. Just because of the, very airbrushable, airbrush can do a lot of lifting there. I've got the Free Guild Command Core, awesome unit. I'm looking forward to painting these a lot, actually, because it's just like 6 unique models. Still going to take a little bit of time, but I think I won't mind, because I can just enjoy myself. I got a couple of battle wizards. So it's actually a battle wizard and what will be a sorceress. The Cities of Sigmar army is like the collection of like humans. So you've got the new human models they released, and then you have the previously old world dark elf models. So things like the Cold One Knights and the Dark Shards and the Crossbowmen and the Corsairs, Blackguard, Executioners, Sorceress on Black Dragon, those types of units. And they're great. They actually have really solid rules. My only problem is I don't like the there's a bit of a clash of aesthetics. So like the way the new cities models look, just to me doesn't really look very unified when you put the dark elf stuff next to it. It just to me it just makes no sense. It's just kind of like, I don't know. They're like dark and sinister, and and because I was an old world player, I'm just like, this is just weird. So I've taken it upon myself to do some conversions and some small things. I figure, when it comes to the sorceress, I'm like, no, I mean, if I just paint them kind of a certain way, or tell my opponent at the beginning of the game, that, like, let's say this guy's the sorceress, I don't think anyone's gonna care. It's just a little foot hero that casts magic. It's not really hard to differentiate. But for the Cold One Knights or Drakespawn Knights or whatever they call them, I did a conversion. So this is a 40k Rough Rider kit. So we're still using the horse. I've kind of shaved off the Aquillas where I could. And so, which is just normally one right in the front here. And then they're like branded. They have an Aquila like branded in the side. It's like embossed. So I had to fill that with Milliput. And then anyway, and then I did a head swap and gave them I had spare shields from some of my other steel helm kits. And the spear tip is from I had extra Lumineth Dawn Riders, which is just their cavalry. So yep, so that was like quick and easy. The rest of the model actually not too bad, not too techy looking. Some of them have like a gun slung in a thing. That's not really too crazy either, compared to looking at the other cities models. So honestly, I thought that worked out all right. So they're gonna. I just need them, and they're gonna have a bit of a color scheme that's a little bit unique. You can see my my Fusiliers are also like they're more of like this burgundy color. I'm still featuring the yellow and purple a little bit here and there, but they're gonna have different decals on their shields, and they're just gonna be a little bit different. We've got the Free Guild Marshal. I'm looking forward to paying him, and then 5 more of the Free Guild Cavalry. And then over here, I've got my box of like other units that I've built that aren't in my list right now, but will eventually get worked on. Or maybe I'll play more games and decide to put something else in. It's just a pile of stuff. I have more Steel Helms. I have the Wild Core, whatever. They're like the Hunters. They're actually pretty neat. And then I've got a Cannon and Zenestra. I know some of you keen eyes will be like, "Well, you're not taking the Pope Lady or whatever she's called, Zenestra." I decided, at least with the list I'm playing, and after one game, I decided, I think I'm gonna pass. She's a beautiful model. I can't wait to paint her, but yeah, what she does on the table is kind of all or nothing. So I'm a little weary about that. If you kind of don't, she basically does prayers, and you have to roll a dice to activate them. And I'm like, if the prayer doesn't go off, I'm just kind of doing nothing. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Quickly, my if you the kind of silver color scheme or the silver colors I'm using, basically we have. Let's see if we can go in order of like dark to light. So I've got some Vallejo dark metal. This is just a dark gunmetal. You can use sub in whatever you want. The mid-tone is this AK natural steel. And the high tone, the very high tone, is the Vallejo chrome. And actually sometimes there's another color. I think it's in my box still. I'm not going to dig it out right now. But there's also a AK steel or just silver. It's just a bright silver that I sometimes also use because it's a little thicker and it's a little bit of a whiter kind of steely color. It can just for certain angles and stuff, and the way it covers, because this stuff, this AK metal chrome paint is like super thin, so you do have to kind of like put some on your palette, let it sit for a bit, and then let it thicken, I guess. Either way, sometimes I found just to save time, I needed a bit of the silver and mix it in just to thicken it a bit. And then for the bronze, I'm using AK bronze, and I've got this Pro Acryl white gold. It's kind of like a great highlight for it. This is just very pale color. You can see it here, right there. Yeah. So I use those, and sometimes I mix some black into this for a shadow. Another little hobby product that is kind of newish that I've been using are these AK deep shades, and they're pretty neat. They're kind of like, it's like if you took a Citadel shade like Null Null or Agrax and then like thickened it a bit, so it kind of like you have a little more time to push it around, and it very gently stains everything. So they're kind of like, you're able to kind of apply these almost like filters to things. So there's a few colors of those. There's I don't know, 8 shades. I've got a green one, I've got a brown one, there's a black one. Yeah, give these a go. I'm enjoying these a lot, actually. So anyway, yep, so that's my Cities of Sigmar diary for December the 9th. So we'll come back to this in a couple of weeks and see where we're at. Maybe early January. Comment below, ask me any questions, give me any ideas. I've got to build a display board, so I've got some ideas for what that might look like. But if you have any ideas on that, you can post as well. And yeah, anything at all, how I'm doing something, yeah, just ask. So thanks again, have a good one, till next time.